Hello, and welcome to Dandelion Dollies.
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 Dandelion Dollies. Hey everyone, welcome back to Dandelion Dollies, and today I'm going to be showing you how to turn a pattern meant for an American Girl doll, how to upsize that into a Waldorf doll like Jolie. Now the thing is, American Girl doll is taller than Jolie, but Jolie is rounder, so that's why we're going to be upsizing it. I'm going to make probably a few videos on this, and this one's going to be a super easy one. It's just this apron here. I will link where I got the pattern for this. It's free down in the description. But this one, I don't think it needs a lot of upsizing, just with the top. And then, yeah. The material I decided to choose for this is so I can skip a few steps. Because with this doesn't have hemming. What you do is you just, put, in the pattern originally, they have rickrack along the edges, and that covers up the seams, and you sew that down, and that makes it so it doesn't fray. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be using felt, which doesn't fray anyway, so I won't need to do all the hemming stuff. So that's skipping a few steps. So don't watch this video if you want a tutorial on how to make the pattern. Just watch it for the upsizing of this pattern to fit a bamboletta doll. The first thing I did was try it on Jolie. And so I can already see a few alterations I'm going to want to make. I'm going to want to make the skirt longer so that I don't have to make... Or I could make the ribbons longer to fit all the way around the edge. Probably make the top wider there. And I think the fact that it's bunching up there is just something I did wrong when I was making this dress. But I could always try to make that smaller. So let's get into cutting out the pattern. Lay the pattern pieces out where you want them. And then trace it with whatever form. I'm using this disappearing ink marker. But trace that. And then cut out the pieces that we won't have to alter. Okay, so now you've got that done. I think what I'm going to want to do is I'm going to want to take this, bring that out a little bit, and do that, and then do the same thing with this, and I think that's all I want to edit for this. Oh, also, I'm probably going to make the waistband longer, but since this is the length that the waistband needs to be, and this is on the fold, I'm just going to cut it a little longer than it's supposed to be, if that makes any sense at all. Craft felt is a very good material for beginners because you don't have to do any hemming or anything like that on it. And it's very easy to work with on a sewing machine or with hand sewing. And the reason I have so much of this is because I used it a lot when I was younger. It was the only fabric I used for 5 years. Now, one of the things you have to remember with upsizing is always cut it a little bigger than you think you need. Because if you ever have to make it less big, which I do in this situation, you can cut it, but you can't exactly add anything to it. So I'm just going to take off a little bit at the end. So now that I've gotten it to the size that I want for her, I'm going to take this and match it up with the sleeves to make sure it's the same size as the sleeves. Now that that's done, we're going to start sewing it. The rest of this is just the pattern sewing, but using craft felt so I don't have to hem it. So, yeah, if that's just all you wanted to know on how to upsize it to a bamboletta doll, you can stop watching now. Or any doll. It doesn't have to be a bamboletta doll. You just any doll. Yeah. So now what we're going to do is we're going to sew the back with that and then flip it right side out, which isn't going to be that hard. You just turn that over. Now you've sewn that, so you're just going to flip it over, and that's what our top's looking like so far. The next thing you're going to want to do is go look back at the pattern. Let me get this here. And as you can see, it says apron front bodice and stuff like that. So what you're going to want to do is that is where it marks up, it lines up to that. So you're just going to want to measure I'm gonna actually cut this silk in half. So since mine is longer, I just made it so there's even amount on either side and just like marked some dashes where the things line up. So now I'm gonna line it up with the bodice. Like so. Make sure that the right side of the fabric is the side that is connected. Actually, I don't think that one's the right side. Let me fix that. Remember, since we upsized it, those marks are going to be specific to where it ends on the fabric because it's upsized, so it's a little bigger. And then you're just going to want to sew that where it is. Pins are. And what I do is when I sew it at the bottom so I can fold it down, and then you can't see the stitches. If you have an iron, you're going to want to press that, but I don't, so I'm just going to leave it like that. Now, as you can see, this fabric is way too long to wrap around, so we're going to pleat it. The way that I decided to pleat it is I'm just going to, like, make a ruffle like that and pin it and sew it down. Now that I've got that pinned, I'm going to try it on Jolie to make sure that it fits around her waist the amount that I want. If it's too much, pin it up more, like the ruffles closer together. If it's too little, then you're going to want to take out some of the ruffles. I'm going to take out a few of the ruffles here. And the way I'm doing it, they're actually more like pleats than ruffles. And now that the length in the back is how I want it, we're going to sew it. Now that that's all sewn, we're going to attach the bodice and the belt to the skirt. Just want to put them right sides together, pin and sew. Now it's all pinned, I'm going to sew it. And now, as you saw in the last one, or maybe you didn't see it, I don't know if I showed it, but I had it tied, but you're actually supposed to use a button and make a buttonhole, so I'm going to show you how to do that, but first I'm going to try it on Jolie. Now that I've tried it on her, I realized I want the skirt to be shorter and the neckline to be lower, so I'm just going to cut that. That's one of the upsides of using felt. Now that I've got it fitting her how I want, I'm just going to add the buttonhole. Just cut a hole where I want the buttonhole to be, and I'm just going to add a button to the other side. Very simple. So now I've got the buttonhole sewn in. As you can see, it's right there. And I put it through. So yeah, that's my tutorial. I'm probably going to do one on how to downsize it for a doll like Maddie. But that's all for now, my dolls, and I hope you stick around. Bye!